Hey there, and welcome. So, if you're running a small or medium sized business, you definitely know that pressure, right? The pressure to make sales right now. But what if that constant chase for the next sale, that cycle of promotions, is actually what's holding you back? Today, we are going to dive into a really powerful, evidence based strategy to help you shift from those short term tactics to real, long term, sustainable growth. Let's get into it. Does this sound familiar? You run a discount, your sales get a nice little spike, but then, boom, they drop right back down to where they were. So what do? You run another promotion, and then another. It's this exhausting treadmill that just eats away at your profits and does absolutely nothing to build a lasting brand. It feels like you're just renting customers, not actually earning them. But here's the good news. There is a better way. A way out of that cycle. And it's not based on gut feelings or whatever the latest marketing fad is on social media. Nope. This is a method that's backed by decades of marketing science, real data, that shows how brands actually grow. And you know what the best part is? It's perfectly designed for businesses just like yours. Okay, so first things first, let's really break down the problem here, what we're calling the promotion trap. It is so easy to fall into because it's driven by that constant need for immediate results. But just recognizing the specific habits that are keeping you stuck, well, that's the very first step to getting out. This trap, it's really made up of these four things. You're constantly running discounts, you're launching these last-minute spontaneous promotions just to try and hit a monthly target, your entire focus gets sucked into that immediate sale. And what happens? The really crucial work, the work of building a memorable long-term brand, it gets completely pushed to the side. And that is a recipe for stagnation, not growth. So, if that's the trap, how in the world do we get out? Well, the solution is all about understanding how brands really grow. And I'll tell you, it's a method that's backed by some serious evidence. And the core idea? Well, it might be the exact opposite of what you've always been told about marketing. And here it is. This is where we flip conventional wisdom completely on its head. For years, right, all the marketing advice has been about creating this small, super loyal customer base. Focus on your loyalists, they say. But the evidence, the actual data, shows that's not how market leaders are built. The real engine for growth, it's all about constantly acquiring new buyers. So this is the most crucial point. Listen to this. Growth doesn't come from getting a few people to buy from you all the time. It comes from getting a lot of people to buy from you, even if it's just once in a while. I mean, think about the biggest brands you know. You probably don't buy from them every single week, but millions of people do, occasionally. That is the engine of their growth. Now, this isn't just some theory I'm throwing out there. It's a proven scientific law in marketing called the double jeopardy law. And honestly, it's kind of a tough reality for smaller brands. What it says is that not only do you have fewer customers than the big players, but your existing customers also tend to buy from you less often than their customers do. It's a real double whammy. Just look at this table. It really lays out the challenge, right? As a small brand, you get penalized twice. You have fewer buyers, and those buyers purchase less often. This is exactly why a strategy that focuses only on your existing customers is a dead end. To break this cycle, the only real solution is to systematically and intentionally expand your customer base. Okay, so the goal is crystal clear. Get more buyers. But how do we do that? The entire strategy, believe it or not, boils down to two simple but incredibly powerful ideas. You need to be remembered, and you need to be easy to find. So let's break down what that really means in practice. All right, first up is what we call mental availability. Now, this is all about owning a little piece of real estate in your customer's brain. Think about it. When someone finds themselves in a situation where they might buy something from your category, does your brand just naturally pop into their head? That's mental availability. It's all about being remembered at that one crucial moment. Then, the second piece of the puzzle is physical availability. This is the super practical side of things. Okay, so someone thinks of you. Now what? Can they actually buy from you easily? Are you in the right stores? On the right apps? Are you open at the right times? Because if a customer wants you but can't find you, all of that precious mental availability you built up, well, it just goes to waste. So how do you build that all-important mental availability? The real key is understanding something called category entry points, or you'll hear them called CEPs. And they're really simple. They are just the cues, the situations, or the triggers that make a person think, hey, I need to buy something like that. Let's make this super concrete with a few examples. If you sell cold drinks, a big category entry point is simply hot weather, right? If you sell instant noodles, a key CEP is that late night hunger feeling. Your job is to figure out what these triggers are for your specific category and then build a strong, memorable link between that situation and your brand.
So, what's the best tool in our toolbox for building these mental links? It's advertising. But to make it work, we first have to totally rethink what we think its purpose is.
This might be the biggest mindset shift you have to make. The primary goal of your advertising is not to make someone buy something from you today. It's to build and refresh memory structures in their brain so that when they are ready to buy in the future, maybe next week, maybe next month, your brand is the one they automatically recall. So what does a good memory-building ad look like for a small business? Honestly, it's simple. Be absolutely, ruthlessly consistent with your brand assets. Your logo, your colors, your slogan. Make sure people can recognize you in a split second. Focus on reaching as many potential buyers as you can, rather than crafting some super complex message for a tiny little niche. And don't be afraid to market to everyone. Remember, almost anyone could be a potential buyer someday.
Okay, wow, we have covered a lot of ground here. We've gone from the trap of short-term thinking all the way to the real science of how brands grow. So now let's bring it all home and make it super practical with an action checklist you can use for your business right away.
Take a second and just look at this list. Ask yourself these questions. Are your brand assets, your logo, your colors, are they consistent everywhere? Are your ads simple and repeatable, or are you constantly reinventing the wheel? Are you actually physically available where your buyers are looking for you? Have you sat down and really mapped out your key category entry points? And maybe most importantly, have you actively tried to reach new buyers this week? This right here is your roadmap. I want to leave you with this final thought because I think it perfectly captures everything we've just talked about. Your job as a marketer isn't just about hitting today's sales figures. It's about building a brand that's going to last, one that's easily remembered and easily found, just waiting for that future customer. So the question to ask isn't, how do I make a sale today? But how do I earn a permanent space in my customer's memory?